You see it in the headlines every single day. The AI revolution. But what's really happening behind the scenes? Well, today we're going to cut through all that noise. We're going to piece together a blueprint for this new era, using insights from the very people who are building its foundations. Let's kick things off with the sheer scale of it all. Okay, so first, let's just try to wrap our heads around this. Over the last 3 years, just 3 years, the investment in AI infrastructure has soared past $800 billion. I mean, just let that sink in for a second. It's an absolutely mind-boggling number, and believe it or not, the spending is actually picking up steam. That's right. It's not slowing down. Projections are showing another $600 billion is going to be spent in the next year alone. Now, when you see numbers that massive, it naturally leads to one very big question. This is the question on everybody's mind, right? You hear that word bubble getting thrown around a lot. So, is all this just hype? Or is this the real deal? Well, the experts who are actually on the ground, they argue that this time it's fundamentally different. So, why? What makes this AI boom so different from past tech cycles, like, say, the fiber optics build-out back in the day? It really boils down to a few critical factors that have just never lined up quite like this before. So, think back to those other tech booms. Companies built all this massive, expensive infrastructure, but the end users, they often weren't there yet. Adoption was slow, it was painful. Now, contrast that with what just happened. The very moment ChatGPT launched, a global user base of over 5 billion people was ready to go, already armed with PCs and smartphones. The adoption wasn't just fast, it was instant. It really all comes down to these 3 things. First, that seamless adoption we just talked about, the audience was already there. Second, high utilization. You know, in past booms, we had dark fiber, all these cables buried in the ground that nobody was using. Today, there's no such thing as dark compute. Everything is being used. And third, the funding. This isn't just speculative money. It's coming from some of the most profitable companies on the planet.
And this quote from Vivek Arya at Bank of America really hammers the point home. Every single bit of this expensive new infrastructure, all the way down to 6- or 7-year-old GPUs, is being pushed to its absolute limit. The demand is not some future projection, it's real, and it is happening right now.
Okay, so we've established why this isn't your typical bubble. Now let's get into the fun stuff. What is all this investment actually building? Because this isn't just theory anymore. AI is already changing industries in some really concrete ways. Let's take healthcare, which is, believe it or not, a surprisingly fast adopter. A recent study found that doctors need about 30 hours a day to get all their work done. Why? Because a whopping 80% of their time is spent on paperwork, not on patients. So companies like Abridge are using AI to automate all that clerical work, with the goal of totally flipping that script. Or look at software development. Generative AI is just churning out code at this incredible rate. But who's checking it? Is it safe? Is it any good? Well, that's where a tool like CodeRabbit comes in. It basically acts as an AI-powered reviewer, a super important trust layer that makes sure all that new code is safe and effective before it goes live. And this isn't just for super specialized tasks. At the very highest levels of business, leaders like the CEO of Snowflake are using internal AI agents right on their phones to get instant answers to critical questions about their company. I mean, that kind of real-time access, that's a total game changer. So that's what AI is doing in the digital world today. But the ambition? It does not stop there. The next great frontier is teaching AI to actually interact with the physical world all around us. And this is what we call physical AI. It's not just about processing text or images anymore. It's about understanding the basic laws of nature, gravity, friction, cause and effect, so it can operate safely and effectively out here in our world. The core challenge is just summed up perfectly by the CEO of Mercedes-Benz. Getting a car or a robot to work 99% of the time, that's actually the easy part. The real difficulty, the thing that keeps engineers up at night, is solving for that long tail, the millions of rare, unpredictable things that can happen in the real world. And while self-driving cars get most of the headlines, that's really just one piece of a much, much larger puzzle. The vision extends way beyond just cars. The ultimate goal here is to create general-purpose robots. The mission is Well, it's incredibly ambitious. It's basically to build a single general AI model that can act as a universal brain for any kind of robot, from a complex humanoid to a simple factory arm, allowing it to learn and perform any task. So we've seen today's applications, and we've gotten a glimpse of tomorrow's vision. But all of it, the digital software, the physical robots, it all relies on one thing, an absolutely unimaginable amount of computing power. So let's look at the engine that makes it all possible. So what does it actually take to power this future? To train models that can reason, that can understand physics, that can interact with the world around us? It requires a leap in hardware that's almost difficult to even comprehend. And here it is. This is the engine. It's NVIDIA's next-generation platform, and it's called Rubin. It's named for Vera Rubin, the pioneering astronomer who discovered the evidence for dark matter. And this platform, it isn't just an upgrade. It's a fundamental redesign of computing itself. This table really shows you just how massive that leap is. Compared to the Blackwell generation, which is already incredibly powerful, the Rubin platform delivers a five-fold increase in AI performance. It's the result of something they call extreme co-design. That means instead of just upgrading individual parts, every single chip, the CPU, the GPU, the networking, was redesigned from scratch to work together as one seamless, hyper-efficient system. This hardware makes a complete paradigm shift possible, and it's captured perfectly by NVIDIA's CEO. We are moving from an era of programming computers with explicit instructions to an era of training them on data, letting them learn skills and reason on their own. The implications here are just enormous. This level of compute unlocks smarter, more capable models, it powers that next generation of physical AI we talked about, and it lays the groundwork for what many people are now calling a new industrial revolution. And it all brings us to this one last thought. Just a few years ago, a lot of what we've talked about today would have sounded like pure science fiction. With computing power accelerating at this kind of pace, it just makes you wonder what currently impossible problem is about to be solved next.